At first, it seemed as if the McCain camp had taken the high road, exercising moderation and reserve when one of its volunteers claimed an Obama African-American supporter sexually assaulted her and carved the letter B in her face. Now in our fourth story tonight, we learned from Talking Points memo that before police confirmed any part of Ashley Todd's account, let alone its truth, McCain's Pennsylvania communications director gave reporters quotes from the fictional attacker, telling reporters that the B in Todd's face stood for Barack Obama. Fueling the same divisive elements Matt Drudge was pushing on his garbage website in a narrative straight out of Reconstruction-era race-based fear-mongering. A black man, 6'4", attacking, sexually assaulting, fondling, mutilating a young white woman. In this case, a black male Obama supporter assaulting a white female McCain supporter and campaign worker. Tonight, McCain spokesman Brian Rogers denied the campaign gave out those quotes, telling Countdown they came from the police and were attributed to the McCain camp because of sloppy reporting, an account that does not explain why two television stations both quoted the McCain campaign, or the fact that one of them, KDKA Pittsburgh, specifically followed the McCain quotes with the line, quote, "Police, however, have not confirmed that." And tonight, Countdown asked a reporter from the other station, WPXI, to check his notes. He says he got those quotes first, 4:08 p.m. yesterday, from McCain's Pennsylvania communications director. Last night, Fox News Executive Vice President John Moody, the man whose daily email directs how Fox slants its coverage, predicted that, quote, "Some voters may revisit their support for Senator Obama, not because they are racists, but because they suddenly feel they do not know enough about the Democratic nominee." Why would they suddenly feel they did not know enough about Obama? What, did he not have an alibi? Today, Pittsburgh police revealed Todd made it all up. No attack, no attacker, one perp walk. But no sign in Fox's occasional 30-second reports on this today of Moody's other prediction yesterday, quote, "If the incident turns out to be a hoax, Senator McCain's quest for the presidency is over, forever linked to race baiting." Let's turn now to MSNBC political analyst Eugene Robinson, also columnist and associate editor with the Washington Post. Gene, good evening.
Good to be here, Keith.
Put, if you would, for me, this narrative, the initial claim, the fact that it's not true in some racial/historical context for us.
The historical context is simple. It is the blood libel against black men concerning the defilement of the flower of Caucasian womanhood. It's been with us for hundreds of years and apparently is still with us.
If the second part of this, if a McCain spokesman really did get ahead of the police and was telling the reporters that the B stood for Barack, as in Barack Obama, what are we to make of that part of this narrative?
That, in my opinion, is reprehensible. It certainly indicates, first of all, look, Ashley Todd, a disturbed young woman, one hopes that she gets help. If the McCain communications director actually did get ahead of the police, was pushing the story toward to the TV stations, as it now seems to be the case, there was certainly a willingness, not just a willingness to believe it, but an eagerness to incite a kind of a racial backlash against the Obama campaign in a part of Pennsylvania where race can be a very raw and divisive issue to this day, and I don't think there's any other way you can look at it. The idea of this, hulking, looming 6'4" black man and this white college student, female college student. The image was one that was kind of made to order for maybe stirring something up.
Yeah, it had 2008 Willie Horton at minimum written all over it. The reaction though here from this man at Fox, who I know for a long time, John Moody, his prediction yesterday. I mean, the current geological era will run out before we see them do the right thing and treat this fraud the way he outlined it yesterday. But was he right in terms of outside the Fox bubble? I mean, is John McCain's quest for the presidency over? Is he forever linked to race baiting now?
Well, that's a very good question. I don't think it'll be played that way on Fox, and I don't think it'll be played that way on the Drudge Report. I do think there are some questions that need to be answered, specifically about the role of anybody connected with the McCain campaign in pushing the story. And I would hope that the McCain campaign, if it finds that its representatives did, in fact, kind of try to pump this up, I'd hope they do the right thing and clean house in Pennsylvania, or else it will become an issue.
Well, clearly there is some, and it may be remote, but there is some culpability here, because we heard today reference, as you mentioned, to the history of mental problems, which may, true or otherwise, help her with her legal problems. But this was not just some random McCain volunteer. This was an active, apparently full-time field rep for the National College Republicans group, who admitted on her Twitter lying to Pennsylvania voters that she called. She claimed she was a Steelers fan. Obviously, that's fraud on the nth degree, a far different level. But isn't somebody inside the McCain campaign directly responsible for a culture that encourages everything from the range of, the simple dirty trick to out-and-out fraud for which you get arrested and perp walked?
I think that the simple answer to that question is, I don't know. I mean, it depends really on to what extent this was an atmosphere rather than one disturbed young woman. I think what we can say for sure, unless the bloggers on right-wing websites are right, some of them are saying she was a Democratic plant, but if that's not true, one thing you can say for sure is that they should not have pushed the story, and if they did, someone should have to answer for that.
Yeah, the B was backwards. Everybody who looked at that went, I'm not so sure about this. Let's just wait. Eugene Robinson of MSNBC and the Washington Post. Have a good weekend. Great thanks, Gene.
You too, Keith.